Hello, welcome to my tier list of Fire Emblem The Binding Blade characters. Now that the Binding Blade is officially done, well, other than the extra stuff, but much like with Fire Emblem The Blazing Blade, I decided I will make a tier list of all the characters that I like. This is not in any means all the characters that are good, or all the characters. This isn't a tier list based on skill or level growth or whatever. If you want to look for that stuff, I'm sure you can find it somewhere. That isn't me though. That isn't me. I talk about characters that I stan, and that's what we're doing today. As per usual, this will be a tradition going forward with every single Fire Emblem game that I complete. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And also, there's going to be a bit of a fun little video coming down. I don't know when this will go up, but within the next few days or next few weeks or something, involving Binding Blade and tier lists. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. But anywho, let's just jump into this. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's less characters in this game than Blazing Blade, but I might be wrong. I think it's around the same. It's somewhere in the 40s. Let's just jump in. First of all, it's Roy, the boy. I mean, you know, what can I say? What can I say? This boy will cap speed, this boy will cap skill, this boy will crit anything pretty much and dodge anything. He is amazing. Yes, I know I just talked about, oh, you're talking about skills and you're talking about growth rates. Yes, but also he is just the boy in general. The design is amazing. I love the headband. It's like Eliwood but just streamlined. Actually, now that I mention it, I can't remember off the top of my head if Eliwood does have a headband or not. He might. He might not. Still, Roy is like the streamlined version. I love him. I love his Japanese voice actor, of course. I think it's Fukuyama-jun. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong. But yeah, like, because I've touched Fire Emblem Engage a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, Roy's stocks have gone up quite a bit. You know how they all have different quotes when you like clean up their rings and stuff. We'll get into that when we get into that eventually. But there you have it. Not to mention, the Binding Blade. Super cool weapon. I love the shape. I love the custom animation when he does the little spinny spin and then hits down. You get what I'm talking about. Of course, yeah, that came into Smash Brothers as his ultimate move or whatever. His ultimate attack. And you know, I just vibe with him, and I've always vibed with him. I've vibed with him more than Marth. I've vibed with him more than I think I like both Ike and Roy around the same. But either way, he's just a simple design. I love him. The personality, you know, he's an upstarting individual. Like he's like independent and he's courageous. He's all the traits that you need in a hero, of course. But at the same time, he understands that, you know, certain times you have to, you know, he's in the middle of a war. He needs to kill other people if he wants to survive, if he wants to do good for his country, that sort of thing, right? And I think that sort of is an interesting trait, of course. I mean, of course, Eliwood does have that as well, and they are very similar characters in that regard. But yeah, no, I like both of them tremendously. But yeah, Roy just he's always the boy. Like, I don't know how to explain it. He's just the boy, you know. In fact, you know what? Maybe I should change this to the boy. I think that makes way more sense. So there you go. He's the only one in that tier, of course. And there you have it. Speaking of, this is a very jank video because I completely forgot to not address any of the tiers. Let's not do that. You guys can read. That's fine. Let's just jump into the next character. Here we are, of course, with aged up Marcus. So Marcus, which I don't entirely remember what tier I ranked him in the Blazing Blade one. It's been a couple months for sure. He's definitely solid stuff though, I will say that much. He doesn't stand out as one of my favorite characters in both Blazing Blade and Binding Blade. But what I do really like about him in the Binding Blade storyline, or at least in the supports with characters like Alan and Lance and stuff, he clearly is strict towards the younger ones, but you can clearly tell that he's doing that for his own country, his own, his own, like party, I guess, or like his own group of knights. He's doing that because he's passing on the wisdom, and it hurts for the young recruits to, you know, understand his strictness at times, but it's like tough love in a sense, and I think that's really cool how he's sort of watching over the new generation, especially with Roy as well, not to mention how he served Eliwood and that group earlier on. But yeah, no, similarly, it's really cool how, you know, he talks to Roy and, you know, he's mentioning things about how he used to serve his father and whatnot, and I think that's really cool. And Marcus is really cool because even before that, it's confirmed that he served under Albert, or he fought alongside Albert, I believe, which is Eliwood's father. So there's kind of like this you know, continuation, this legacy of just loyalty, and I think that's really cool. Not to mention, I just think purple knights, or just purple palettes in general, are really cool. So he gets that. He absolutely gets that. He is a solid character, absolutely. Oh yeah, speaking of, I haven't read all the Binding Blade supports. I will be doing that at some point within the foreseeable future. So if you want me to react to them, or if you haven't read them all and you're curious and you want to join me in doing that, then keep your eyes out. I think maybe I might do it like in November or something is my guess. But yeah, I will start doing that. So yeah, stay tuned. Of course, we've got Alan, which I've headcanon to be Kent's son, of course. He's the fiery cavalier of the two. I'm going to put him in solid stuff, probably under Marcus. He's not as much of a goat as Marcus, but he is pretty cool. Of course, earlier on in this series was the only extent as to how long I could actually use this boy, for reasons that I'm sure you guys all know. But yeah, basically, he's cool. He's definitely my favorite between the two Cavaliers, 100%. He's just kind of hot-headed. He knows what needs to be done. He's a bit dumb, but he's got the spirit. He's got the energy. I like it. Solid stuff. Not much more to really add, to be honest. Lance, on the other hand, I'm sorry if there's Lance fans, but I'm going to put him in Take the Hit for me. I haven't read all of his support conversations or anything like that, so perhaps my opinion will change when I do that. But he's definitely the least, or the less interesting of the two Cavalier boys, I feel, at least. And yeah, he's just kind of there, I feel, all of the time. And even early on, I did notice that Alan was growing a lot better in terms of strength and stuff like that. Again, like I said, I'm not talking about how easy these characters are to use, but what I am saying is I just instantly gravitated towards Alan way more than I did Lance. So that's kind of the situation there. And I don't know, his whole neon green toothpaste looking color, I don't know how I feel about that either. Maybe if it was a darker green, I would have liked him a little bit more, but yeah, he's kind of just there, I feel. Now, Walter, of course, Walter is a child, he's up there. Not to mention, he is Rebecca's son, so that's just extra points. Also, I have archer bias is what I like to call it, and I pretty much like most archers. We'll get to her in a sec. But yeah, no, I think the fact that you're an archer, the fact that you're Rebecca's son, the fact that your design is cool. I also really like the support between him and Roy. You know, they're kind of like childhood friends, but Walt he understands that he has to be formal, and Roy's like, wait, you know, we're friends, we're the same age, please talk to me, you know, in the same way, but he knows he can't do that because that's not in his ranks to do stuff like that. I think that sort of dynamic, that sort of friendship, but he understands that it's kind of like a job or like this hierarchical thing. I think that's really interesting in terms of character. And I think that, you know, it is a simple thing. You know, he really could just talk to him like a friend, and I don't think many issues would arise, but he really feels that pressure, and I think that just shows his loyalty towards Foray and along with Roy, like just Lord Roy in general, right? So I think just, yeah, he's just like the right-hand man, you know, he's always there if Roy needs him. I mean, let's not talk about growth stats or something. I mean, sure, he does not grow well at all, and I know that firsthand after using him. However, I just like the story, and I like the character arc and the character design and stuff like that, and I think that's the reason why I will absolutely put Walt up here, and he deserves to be there, at least in my eyes. He absolutely deserves to be there. He's incredibly loyal through and through, and yeah, he's cool. He starts getting kills as well. I mean, about 16 chapters in, but he starts getting them, so it's fine. I feel like if I don't put Balls up in the top rating, then someone, a Balls fan in the comments is gonna hit me for it, but I'll just go with okay then for Boars. If I'm going to be honest with you, he's a meme. He's funny. I like his, like, I don't know, his face looks like an eraser or something, which is kind of funny, but you know, I mean, to be fair, that shade of green is really nice, and I do like the yellow, but to be fair, if we're talking about green and yellow, well, there's a certain someone else that I'll get to. But yeah, I just think he's fine. I think if I learnt about him a bit more, if he got to spend more time with Alina, or like my Alina, then I might have appreciated him a little bit more, but he was one of the first characters to get benched, I remember, in my run. And I don't entirely know why, to be honest, but I guess his character didn't really stand out to me too much. He was just like, I'm kind of here, you know, I tank some hits, but I'll do my best for Lady Lilina, and it's cool, I dig it, but yeah, I don't know. At least that's kind of my eyes. He didn't really leave much of an impression on me, at least, so yeah, sorry about that, Boars fans. Alright, now Melanus is kind of the GOAT this time around. Well, not even this time around. He was the GOAT last time in Blazing Blade, but he is quite the GOAT in this as well. Not gonna lie, he's a little bit overprotective of Roy. I understand that, but at the same time, you gotta understand he has been on the entire journey with Eliwood and Hector. He understands that he has to protect, and that it is his duty to protect the young ones, the next generation, right? And I think that's the reason why he tends to be kind of overprotective of Roy in the storyline. You know, you see Lorem jumping on Roy, and it's just like, hey, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, lassie? That sort of thing. Same thing happened when Thingy appeared. What's her name? The chick that I hate, Cath or whatever. Well, we'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, when Cath appears, it's the same situation. And he is very overprotective, but I understand that's just coming from love, in sort of like a parental sense, right? I mean, he's been there ever since Roy was born, in a sense, working for the Foray Castle or whatever, or what is it, Castle Ostia? I always get confused over the country names, so I do apologize, and hopefully you guys understand. But yeah, no, he's definitely solid. He's definitely solid. It's also nice that he can start moving around on the map now once you deploy him in this game, unlike him just having a tent, so that's kind of nice. And yeah, I don't know, not much else to really add. He's just a G. He's just a G, and he's incredibly loyal. I think I just really appreciate loyal characters in particular, especially when you can clearly tell that they do love working under, you know, who they're working under, sort of thing. You can really tell that there's a really nice, and especially because, you know, Eliwood, Roy, these Lord characters are very nice towards these characters. I think that's why it doesn't feel like a power dynamic sort of thing. It very much feel like I am putting my life on the line because, you know, this Lord is the next hope, but also because I want to protect this Lord. You know, this is a person worth protecting and worth bringing into, you know, the next generation to lead a new country, that sort of thing, right? And I think in that sense, I really do appreciate, especially in Fire Emblem, a lot of these characters that are really loyal, like Oswin, like Marcus, as well as, you know, characters like Walt as well. So yeah, there you have it. Right, moving on to Ellen, I believe. I'm sorry, who? The issue is, okay, this is kind of my, so you have to understand as well, one thing I just want to explain before I say something, is that I have not touched a lot of Fire Emblem for a few years, so I can't say for certain going forward, but at least with the Game Boy Advance games that we have covered on the channel, that we have tried out, I personally just like troubadours way more than, what are they called, clerics, I think? Simply because of their counter properties, simply because they can run around more, you know, things like that. Also, they get fire magic and stuff, you know, anima magic, when they promote. So in that regard, Clarine appears, I think it's in the next chapter, or I think it's 2 chapters after Ellen appears, and by that point, I just didn't need to use Ellen anymore. Not to mention Soul appears in, like, a chapter after, or 2 chapters after. So I'm sorry, but Ellen just, yeah, she just doesn't have a time to shine at all. Literally time to shine, like the shine term. But still, yeah, she just doesn't have a chance to shine. And I feel like if her character was more interesting, or if her design was more, like, interesting, you know, visually appealing, and I don't mean that in a weird way, I'm just talking about, like, color palettes, that sort of thing. If she doesn't look as generic is what I'm trying to say, then maybe I would give her a bit more of a chance, but because there isn't that, I feel like Ellen's really held down by that. And I don't know, maybe there is a diehard Ellen fan in the comments. Please let me know if you are one of them, because this is one of the characters where it's just like, I genuinely forget that she's even in the game. So yeah, I'm sorry Ellen, but yeah, you're gonna have to go there. Deke, alright, you're a goat, you're a Chad, you're a Chad, get in there. I mean, that's just Rona or Zora, isn't it? Just the green hair, the eye scar, like, it's all there, even the sprite, even the battle animation looks like Skypiea Zora, but But that aside, I really like his character thing of like, I am a mercenary and I'm looking after my subordinates. You know, when he does the supports with Lot and with Ward, he's like, okay, you're kind of like my brothers in a sense. Like, don't go too hard. Like, it's good to be confident. It's good to go out there, but like, watch out for your own lives as well. Like, you can clearly tell that he's looking after his subordinates as well. And I think that's, again, like I said, a characteristic that really resonates with me. But just overall, this man will tank anything. This man will deal so much damage to absolutely anything. And yeah, he is insane. I think by the time you get the Durandal in like chapter 8X, you can already wield it, which is insane. So yeah, just like all those things combined, Deke is just pure insanity is what I'm trying to say. And he absolutely deserves that spot at the top of Chad's. Also, yeah, Chad's in quotation marks as well. You'll see in a sec. Okay. Ward, I really like Ward a lot. I'm gonna put you, I want to say top of solid stuff. Yeah, although I do really like his support with Deke. Like I said, how they really treat each other like brothers. I also like the detail in, I think it's chapter 11. It's one of the chapter 11s. You can go to Ward's house as well as Lot's house, and I did both of those events with Ward. And basically, he's like, you can tell he's like a family man or whatever. He's looking, well, he's very worried about his own sister. He's worried about Lot's little sister, and their family and stuff like that. And you can clearly tell that he's looking over them, and he's sort of this kind of big brother or like uncle sort of figure within that little community. And I don't know, I just think that's really cool, and I do like how Ward is definitely the more brighter one of the two. And yeah, just overall, just a really, really solid character. Like up there with Dorcas at least. Like in terms of Game Boy, you know what? Yeah, in terms of Game Boy Advance axe users, he might be one of my favorite. I think I might like him more than Dorcas. Maybe, yeah. That's a difficult one, but yeah, I do quite like him a lot, so there you have it. Okay, so Lot, on the other hand, he is in a similar vein to Lance, where he's the one that I tend to forget. He's the one that I don't use. I'm going to still put him in okay then. He's got some decent support conversations that I've seen. I haven't seen all of them, but with Deke and stuff, it's again the same sort of situation, where they're sort of looking after each other with like this kind of sibling or like brotherly sort of, relationship going on, right? Other than that, though, not much to really say. He is definitely a man of few words, and I think that's kind of cool in a sense, but at the same time, Ward definitely does stand out a lot more as, like, the brighter character, the more fun one of the two. So I think I'll just put you in the center there. At least in my eyes, I think I like him a little bit more than Bors, but yeah, they're definitely on the same level. Shanna, don't care. Moving on. Chad. Well, I mean, there's only one place to put him, right? He is the GOAT. He is the Chad. He is the most Chad of them all, to be honest. So, canonically, he has to be on the very left here. Chad, of course, absolutely amazing character. I suffered through Binding Blade, okay? I absolutely did. If you haven't seen my playthrough, then you can go watch it, or you can just listen to my little summary of saying that I did not enjoy my experience playing Binding Blade simply because of how annoying a lot of the maps were, based on reinforcements, based on just annoying enemy placements, that sort of thing. The only thing that got me through it mentally was the three boys. It was Chad, it was Lou, it was Ray. Those three boys were like my mental stability. I loved their support conversations. It's just something so genuine about those three, where it's just like, this is just, they're in the middle of a war or something, but these are three boys who are just boys, right? They're like 10, 11, whatever, and you can clearly tell that they're trying to make the situation as bright as possible. Lou gets a pair of, in one of their supports, Lou gets a pair of sneakers from sneakers didn't exist back then, I guess, but like some shoes from like a village lady. And he goes, well, we don't have much in inventory or anything like that, but I'm going to give these to Chad. You deserve them more. Your shoes are more broken down, He also gets some snacks that he shares with Chad. They're all just boys that just want to play around, that just want to lounge around, just like that age would, right? But they're in the middle of the war, and they're just trying to make things as best as they can. And I think that positivity really, really shines through. And I think in a way, in a funny, comedic sort of way, in a sense, because I just suffered through a lot of the stages and a lot of the maps of Binding Blade, and I genuinely didn't have a good time on all of them, I think because of their just positivity that just brimmed through their support conversations, like I could almost imagine how they would interact throughout each of the maps we played, if that makes sense. I know that's a really strange thing to say, but it really, really did like resonate with me in a sense where it's just like, this might be a bad situation we're in, or, you know, I might be playing, you know, a Fire Emblem map that I really don't enjoy, but why don't we look at it in a better way, you know? Let's take a look at it in some, you know, let's try and make it as positive as we can. And I think it was that mentality that really pushed me through that game, because it was rough. It was rough. If you want to see me have somewhat of a mental breakdown on camera, go watch Chapter 14, Arcadia. I think that actually was one of the worst well, at the time, it's funny now, but at the time it was one of the worst recordings for YouTube I've ever done in my life. That was rough. It was rough, but because these three boys were here, because I really, really wanted to level these boys up and, you know, train them up to, you know, like maxed out with support ranks and that sort of thing. And then you actually start seeing the results. You know, Chad would start critting like every like nomad that he approached. You know, Lou would be critting like bosses and finishing them off. It was insane. I mean, of course, the supports really helped in that, with boosting the crit rate, with boosting the hit rate, that sort of thing. But it was really a thing. It was similar to Rebecca in a sense of Blazing Blade, where, you know, you get this sort of character. I guess in a sense it's kind of similar to E1 as well from Sacred Stones, where you get like a unit who isn't particularly good in the beginning. I guess similar to Roy as well in this game. Not particularly good, but you start really caring for them and you start wanting this character to do really, really well. And then when they start delivering, it's like, oh, I've done it. I am incredibly proud of what I've done. And I think that's kind of what reflects with the three boys. I mean, especially I think Chad and Lou, especially. Ray kind of tagged on in the end, and I really do like Ray as well. But Chad and Lou especially were just amazing from start to finish. I love these characters to bits. And yeah, that's not much else to really say. I mean, I know that was a huge ramble and a tangent and all that, and in the beginning I was kind of using Chad as a bit of a meme, but he definitely grew on me. He might be my favorite thief character so far of the Game Boy Advance games. I really like Legault, but Chad's up there. Chad is definitely up there. Chad's definitely giving Legault a run for his money in my eyes. So, yeah, there you go. Chad definitely goes there. In fact, I would put him up one rank, but, you know, he is the boy. You know what? I feel like I shouldn't meme this around too much. So why don't I... Is there a way? Maybe I should just make another row. Add row above. Okay, so if I just did this, and then if we get dark purple or something, and then let's just say the GOAT, or the MVP or something. Yeah, okay. Just to make it, although, hold on, I feel like he should be in the Chad's thing, shouldn't he? Fine, you know what, I will just keep it as it was, and let's just keep it for the joke, as well as just for the actual seriousness as well, but that's what we'll do. Moving on, as I said, I mean, I've talked so much about these two boys, Ray as well, of course, but yeah, Lou, you're just going right next to Chad. Again, for the meme, or, you know, he is the most Chad out of these four, you know, literally, right? So I can't really put him above Chad. I can't put Lou above Chad, but Lou was awesome from start to finish. The amount of thunder crits that this boy pulled, for one, not to mention all the air caliber kills with the wyverns. He was also dodging a whole bunch, he was tanking a whole bunch. It's something about Fire Emblem, like, characters that are weak to begin with, that just grow amazingly, and I understand that that's how they're designed, but it just makes you feel so good. It's like, I made this character into this absolute beast, and that's how I felt with the three boys of this game. And that's basically all I can say about that. Again, like I said, most of what I wanted to say, I've talked about with Chad there, so Lou, yeah, you're an absolute solid character, and yeah, you're definitely one of my favorite characters in this entire game, along with Chad, so there you have it. Alright, moving to Clarin, who personality-wise I wasn't the biggest fan of originally, but I'm going to put you in solid stuff, the top of solid stuff. I'm going to put you under Ward. Actually, you know what? No, you know what? I like it. Yeah, I'm gonna put Clarin at the top. And I know a lot of people do dislike Clarin, and I do understand why. She is whiny, she is pompous, pretentious, but you have to understand that not only her age, she is like a princess who's what, like 11 or something like that, who was definitely pampered up. Of course, Pent and Louise are her parents, so she's definitely had an amazing childhood and all that. Not to mention, she was just thrown into a war, but then you start seeing the softer parts of her once you do the supports with Rutger and stuff. When Rutger starts opening up to Clarin, then she also starts opening up, and she, says stuff. She says stuff like, she'll lash out, but then she'll realize, wait, maybe I shouldn't have lashed out, I'm so sorry, I really shouldn't have done that. You can really tell that she doesn't really mean what she says in those harshnesses, if that makes sense. She's just like that because of the time that she grew up with, because of the way she was grown up, because she's still young, and all these people around her, all these adults around her could easily take advantage of her and throw her in a prison as she first appears and stuff like that, right? In a way, she has to lash out. In a way, she has to not trust anyone. And I think in that regard, I mean, obviously there is bias because she is a troubadour. Like I said, I really like troubadour characters. Similar to Priscilla in that sense, where I kind of liked using the class and I liked using the unit a little bit more than the actual character. But in this case, I do think I like Clarin a little bit more than Priscilla personally, simply because, I think she might actually be my favorite troubadour. Like Rachel from Sacred Stone didn't really resonate with me all that much. But yeah, no, Clarin's really cool. Where, like I said, you can clearly tell that she's just a kid, and of course a kid wants to get pampered and all that. But at the end of the day, she does realize that her words are like daggers sometimes, right? When she goes a little bit too far. And I think that sort of character growth and stuff is really interesting to look at. Similarly, I'm going to put Rutger in the same ranking. I'm going to put him slightly above Marcus, yeah. I've always been a little bit mixed on Myrmidons. You know how I feel about Corel. I love Corel to bits, but at the same time, like Guy I wasn't really big on. Marissa I wasn't really huge on. Myrmidon characters really, really depend for me. Rutger's alright. He is clearly just like the Navarre clone in a sense. So in that sense, I didn't really feel too much originality from this character. He is definitely just like the cold, edgy character, of course. And I think in that sense, it is really cool how Guy is a really hot-headed character, but his class is a very cold, stern one, right? Myrmidons are meant to be serious and precise and agile and stuff, which kind of clashes with Guy's personality, which I thought was really cool. In that regard, Rutger is a very cliched character in that sense, but I think that clichéness is completely fine for a game like this. He's cool. I like his supports with Deke. He has that clear rivalry between Deke, where it's just like, he has this pride where he's like, no, I'm the better swordsman, and Deke's like, no, I'm the better swordsman, right? And I think that clashing of two different sword classes is really cool, and it like represents that as well, right? Like hero characters tend to be loud and courageous and strong, but Myrmidon characters tend to be agile. They tend to dodge a lot. They tend to be smart with the way they attack, right? And I think that really does reflect on those two. I just think it's a completely a solid character. Definitely not one of my favorites, but he's cool. He's definitely really cool. So Dorothy, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to put you in like okay then. I didn't get much out of you, I'm going to be honest with you. Again, the support conversations could change a bit. I'm guessing from what I could gather, she was sort of like a country girl that, she's a typical, I've done hunting all my life, that's why I'm good at the bow sort of character, right? So in that regard, it didn't really resonate with me that much. Of course, like I said, as much as I have archer bias, most archers I do like. I love Rebecca, I love Walt. Client's great, Namie's pretty cool as well, but yeah, Dorothy's probably my least favorite out of the arch units that you get in these, in the GBA games at least. I didn't really, again, it's a similar situation to characters like Lance, like Bors, like Lot there, where I just didn't really get much from her character, if that makes sense. Like, clearly she was trying to put Soul in his place, right? Soul was being a bit of a womanizer, and she was just like, hey, you gotta chill out, you know. Is that really the way that a, you know, like a saintful, like, sage or whatever his class is called, like, is that really how they should act and that sort of thing, right? And I think that was cool and stuff. I do like their banter between them, but yeah, just nothing really resonated personally, so I do apologize to any Dorothy fans. Of course, next we have Soul. We better call him, I guess. Crazy how Walter and Soul are in the same game. Anyways, I don't know how to think about you. You're just you're like the perverted monk character. He heals, he's cool. Again, at that point, I was just too invested in leveling up Clarine, so I didn't really invest a ton of EXP into Soul personally. He's not bad. I like his character design. He's a womanizer thing, but he's actually, you know, like a noble saint or something. I do like that. I like it when, you know, character tropes kind of clash, when character personalities, they're designed to sort of contradict, you know, each other in a sense. You know, this guy is a noble man. He's meant to be sensible. He's meant to be very, very sort of, you know, serious and of the people and stuff. But no, he's a total sleazebag. He's a total pervert in that sense. And I think that kind of clashing is sort of interesting. But that's kind of all I can really say about him. I mean, his designs, I like his purple hair, 100%. His shade of purple is really nice. But still, I might put him in okay then. I don't think he's in solid stuff for me personally. Yeah, I don't think so. In fact, I'm probably going to drop Dorothy down one. Yeah, I think that's kind of the better situation. Alright, Sue, of course, we have Wrath's daughter. I do like the Sikaean characters, as I mentioned in the Blazing Blade video. Sikaean characters are some of my favorites, you know. I like Wrath, I like Corel, for instance. But yeah, and there is a ton of Sikaean characters in this game, of course. You actually get to go to Sikae and do a whole bunch of different maps there. And I did play the Sikae route. I didn't end up, and I've never seen any of the Ilia map stuff, so keep that in mind, as I do know that there is one Ilia exclusive character coming up very late in the video. But anywho, well, you guys probably can already guess where that character is going to go. But for the time being, Sue. I love her her color palette, sorry, the green, the red. Unfortunately, every single run I've played of this game, Sue just dies immediately because her defense is very low. But I like her whole situation with, you know, Mother Earth, Father Nature, whatever, right? She does the whole thing that Wrath does. Where, in a sense, she's a woman of a few words. She almost prefers nature towards humans, if that makes sense. Or, like, there's kind of that vibe where I think, you know what I think it might be? I mean, obviously there's the Mongolia thing that comes into play with Sakae, but I think they also got a little bit of inspiration from the Ainu people in northern Japan, which one of their core beliefs is that every single thing, you know, whether that's an animal, whether that's your table, everything has a soul, and the way you treat it will show, like, you know, it will represent your character, or it will come back to you in a sense, yeah? And again, a disclaimer, if I haven't researched this stuff, I only know the very, you know, trivial, like, bits and pieces, so I do apologize if any of that was incorrect, but basically I really do like that concept of how, you know, I guarantee that there's some characters in the Fire Emblem universe, especially the bad guys and stuff, that are like, horses are just weapons, you know, horses, we just use them, wyverns, we just use them to raid enemies. But you can clearly tell that Sue looks after her horse, she looks after all the nature around her, that sort of thing. And, you know, she is, like I said, a woman of few words, but she really doesn't need to say too much. I am gonna put her... No, you know what, I want to put in... This is a tough one, because I didn't really get to use her. I really do like her design, though. I love her headband, it's really cool. I'm gonna put her at the end of Chads and Chadettes, I think. Her design alone just puts it up there. Again, like I said, the whole stern thing that Wrath has is passed down to Sue, and I think that's really cool as well. So, there you have it. Next we have Zealot, which I'm gonna put in Chads and Chadettes. Yeah, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'll put him... I'll put him slightly... I'm gonna put him under Walter then, yeah. So Zealot did really surprise me. He was not a character that really leaped out to me immediately when I first played this game. And when I first, like, the first run I did of this game, I mean, I only played up to a certain point, but... you know, like I got up to his recruitment, of course. But ever since playing Binding Blade on the channel and getting the support rank with Noah and stuff, you can clearly tell he is a mentor character that really looks after all of his students, or all the younger ones that sort of look up to him or learn from him, right? And in a similar sense, but he understands that, like, you know, the next time I talk to these guys might be the last, you know, they might all die in battle. There's a whole support conversation with Noah about, like, you should write the letter to, you know, the person that you cherish the most or something. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think Noah ends up writing a letter to Zealot or something. I don't entirely remember, but you can clearly tell that Noah really looks up to him as well. And I think he's a really cool mentor in a sense that, like, he's sort of the opposite of Marcus, where he's not like the strict mentor. He's like the mentor that's like, we're on the same level, you know, we're all working together, we're all doing this. Come to me if you have any issues, but at the same time, we're all going to do this together, we're all going to get through this, right? Or like, in a sense, it's like you're all your independent man, if that makes sense. I'll look after you if you look after my back. You know, that sort of thing. And I think that's really cool. And I think that sort of stands out from the mentor archetype. You know, of characters like Marcus, for instance. Again, his platinum silver sort of color palette, amazing as well. Overall, just a really, really solid character and a really solid unit as well, with tons of nice level ups and stats and stuff. Again, I didn't want to talk about the numbers too much, but at the same time, he is a very, very usable character, so. Alright, we have Trek, who... I'm surprised I even remembered his name. Yeah, you get in there. Noah, on the other hand, I'm gonna put you in solid stuff. I'm gonna put you above Clarin? I don't know, though. See, the thing is, Noah's a very... I know this is gonna sound like an insult, but it trust me, it isn't when I say this. He's a very one-dimensional character, and I don't mean that in a completely negative way. He's sort of, because he's very much just heroic noble, he's similar to the sense of characters like Eliwood and such. He's just like, I'm just gonna get this done, this is what's right, that sort of thing, right? He doesn't let his emotions get into him. If he has a mission, you know, I know Zealot has teased him about, like, oh, you know, why don't you get someone to marry or something? It's like, no, that's not what I'm here to do, you know. He's very serious in that regard. But he's very friendly, he's very approachable and stuff, and I feel like he's definitely, you know, a character, or he's definitely the person in class that just everyone just neutrally likes, if that makes sense. Like, no one actually hates him, if that makes sense. And I think you can really tell that he has that sort of warm aura, if that makes even a sliver of sense. It's just a vibe I get. But yeah, overall, just yeah, I do like the blue as well. Yeah, it's pretty cool how they give you red and green Cavaliers, and then later in the line they give you a blue Cavalier. I think that's just a nice little addition. So yeah, they have it. Like I said, I've basically talked about what I want to do with the whole Zealot situation, where both of them have that kind of sort of, I guess in a sense it's kind of brotherly, or maybe like uncle and nephew sort of thing, you know. It's not really a father-son sort of situation, but yeah, it's cool. I do really dig both of them. Next we have Astolfo, who, moving on, the only thief you need in this game is Chad. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. Alright, next up is Lilina, who I am still surprised that this, yeah, she can die in this game. It's not a game over condition, she's not even a Lord, she doesn't even have a special Lord class. And I feel like if Binding Blade did actually come out after Blazing Blade, then she definitely would have gotten the Lord treatment, 100%. So that was a little bit unfortunate. Her character, if I'm gonna be honest with you, she's just basically like the, you know, basic heroine sort of character, right? Of these sort of 1990s sort of fantasy anime, fantasy manga situations, where it's just like, yeah, I'm just, you know, I'll always be there for you, Roy, and then she uses magic and stuff, and it's very much that archetype, right? I don't hate it by any means. That being said, I would have liked to see a little bit of Hector in her, if that makes sense. I kind of would have liked it if she was a little bit more, I don't want to say courageous, but just sort of like, what's the right word? Just carefree in a sense. That would have been really nice to see, personally. As much as I want to increase her, as much as I want to put her, you know, higher up, I think she just stays in the smack bang in the middle for me. You know, other than the fact that she is the main box art heroine, like, there isn't much more to her. I mean, I'm sure if I did read the supports, you know, I did really like the support with, oh, not the support, but the way you recruit Gonzalez, where you can clearly tell that she's very kind and gentle, and she's just like, there's no need to worry, you know, like, I know people have treated you miserably, but you're not evil. I can clearly tell from your eyes and your actions and stuff, and that was nice. That was definitely nice. I really did want to see the conversation with Barth, but you know what happened to Lena, so, yeah, that's basically where I'm going to put her. Similarly, I think I'm going to put all three of the knight characters in the same category, which might surprise some of you, but at least to the people that watched my playthrough, I couldn't really train up a lot of them. Gwendolyn, at least, is kind of cool. I actually really dig her design. I'm going to put her above Lilina, if anything. She reminds me of, Effie from Fire Emblem Fates, where she's like a feminine sort of, you know, character, but she's just this bulky knight, right? And I think that's really cool. Again, I like it when character tropes kind of contrast and contradict what you might expect. You know, it averts the expectation. I think that's really cool in that regard. And Gwendolyn definitely has that for her. Her color palette, amazing. I love the pink. I love the magenta sort of like, well, I guess it's not magenta, it's sort of like a rose or like a lipstick sort of pink. Yeah, on her armor as well, and just overall, just her color design. Why do I keep saying color design? Her color palette is just super solid. Similarly, I think Barth is actually really high up here on his design as well. I actually really like him. I like his cyan sort of color, and his little like grass hair is kind of interesting as well, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, no, like the cyan and the magenta between these two is just, yeah, it's really cool. I like their color palettes a lot. Can't really say too much about the character because I didn't really learn too much about them, but yeah, that's the highest I can really put them in, I think. As for Ogier, yeah, you're going down here. You're not even going to be in Who, because I know that you're actively bad in terms of stats and everything. Ogier, however you pronounce his name. Yeah, I don't care. I really don't. Now, Fear, I need to tread lightly with what I say, because I know Fear fans, well, I have to fear the Fear fans, you know. Very scary stuff. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of you. And I know Efolo loves Fear, and I'm sure Efolo's army will hunt me down if I say the wrong words here. She's alright. I mean, look, if that gets dislikes, if that gets people unsubscribing, sure, by all means, but I'm sorry, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of the Myrmidons, and Fear's character is basically just, I want to get stronger. It's basically the same as Guy from Blazing Blade, which I didn't really resonate too much towards either. I haven't done the support with Noah. Maybe it's super charming, who knows, but that's the highest I can place you. Her design's rather simple. I do like her turquoise little shirt there, of course, and you can clearly tell that there's a Sakaean sort of, what do you call it, like, well, you can see the design passed down from Carla and stuff, right, which I think is really cool. It is really nice that you actually do get a character from Blazing Blade within Bartray, right, who also has a daughter, or, you know, who has, like, that second generation that you can also play as. I think that's the only example in this game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. What I'm saying is, like, if both Pent and Clarion were playable, then that would be sort of like, you know, the similar situation, right? And so in that regard, I think it's a really cool idea. But yeah, I can't really put her any higher. I'm really sorry to all the Fear fans, but yeah. Alright, Sin, Shen, whichever one you want to call him. I really like his shade of green. Green's good for the eyes, you know. That's great. He has that little, like, archery pack or whatever on his shoulder. Cool stuff. I love the bandana. But at the end of the day, I think I'm going to have to put you at... Okay, the unfortunate thing is Sue ended up dying before I could even recruit him on my playthrough, so maybe if I'd recruited him, he would have been a little bit higher, but similar to Gwendolyn and stuff like that, I really do dig the design, but I don't know his character all that well. I didn't really get attached to him because I couldn't really use him that well. I'm going to put him at the top of okay then for now. He is definitely a bit of a generic design, especially because a lot of the Sakaean characters do kind of look similar to that regard, right? And it would have been nice to have something that kind of made him stand out a bit, but there you have it. Gonchan. I am going to put Gonchan in solid. I'll put him in... put him above, I nearly called him Count Alan. Yeah, I'll put him above Alan, I guess. Yeah, it's difficult. No, I like Marcus a lot. I think you're gonna have to go there. I'm sorry, Gonchan. Gonchan is an interesting one. Like I said, when he first appeared, in the episode that he first appeared in, one of the first things that I immediately noticed and that I thought was a genius way of storytelling without actually telling the story is he is forced out there by his higher-ups, by the other bandits. He's forced out there to go raid a village to defeat Roy's army with only a devil axe, and the amount of story narrative that you can unpack just from that little detail, basically saying, like, this is a trooper that the bandits don't care about, you know, his own party don't care about if he ends up dying, you know, with the use of the devil axe, whatever. And I think that was such a genius way. He doesn't have a vulnerary on him, he doesn't have any other weapons. Basically the only means of attack is this devil axe, and I think that really was such a powerful way of storytelling, and I don't see it too often in Fire Emblem, even though I feel like you could kind of make a few really interesting narrative choices like that. But yeah, no, that really stood out to me, and I think that's one of the main reasons why he's just in solid stuff to begin with. I didn't use him at all, but like the whole thing with him being kind of like sort of a reference to the whole Frankenstein thing of being sort of like ugly on the outside but like very gentle and very kind on the inside, similar to Chopper's backstory from One Piece as well, right? Like there's that sort of thing, and I think that those types of emotional things do get to me a little bit. So yeah, no, I think Gonchan's definitely solid. Gonchan's a king in all our hearts, so yeah, 3 stars for you, Gonchan. Geese, I mean, well, what else can I say? This man is a walking Chad. Like, his demeanor, his look, his jacket, his long, lustrous, is that the right word? Luscious, purple hair. Everything about this man is the definition of Chad. Unfortunately, it doesn't really show in the pirate sprite because he has a bandana on. He's a very blue sprite in the battle animations. I kind of wished he had like a custom sprite or something, you know, like some of the other characters do. Or some of the special characters do, I should say. But yeah, no, overall, Geese, amazing stuff. He was definitely one of the characters where I just looked at him and I was just like, yeah, sign me up, I'm in. So yeah, definitely high up there. Klein, similarly to that, I'm gonna put you in Chads as well. I want to put you above Walter, I think. Klein's sort of the voice of reason for Clarin, of course. Clarin's kind of out there. I mean, you know, older siblings do tend to be the voice of reasoning to their younger siblings, of course. But you can clearly tell that he is Pent, you know, you can clearly tell that he's related to Pent, and I think that's really cool. Yeah, I just dig it. I you know, and I didn't even know that he was Pent's son. I like guessed it originally because I remember he appeared and I was like, oh, he looks really similar to Pent face-wise. That's kind of interesting. But then yeah, I read some of the supports and stuff, and I'm like, oh, they're both children of Pent and Louise. That's really cool. So there you have it. His design's awesome. Again, like I said, archers just get bonus points for me, so Chad it is. Who are you? Don't care. Lorem. Well, yeah, I think so. I'm not really into the overly moe, squeaky characters, I should say. Not to mention, I'm not a fan of her design either. She's definitely my least favorite dancer character in the GBA games, I will say that much. I like Ninian a lot. Tetis is cool, but yeah, I don't know about Lorem. And it's really unfortunate because Echidna is super cool, and those two come as a little set together, you know, so yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. I want to put Echidna is pretty much the opposite of Geese in a sense, or like the flip of Geese, where it's just like she's just a walking chatette. Like, what else can I say? Maybe not higher than Deke. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I know you lot down in the comments are thirsty for Echidna like 24/7, but I'll put you here. You have really cool, like, post-apocalyptic sort of spiky armor, of course. I love the hair that's like sort of messy and coming out of the headband and stuff. She's a female hero, which I'd never seen up until this point, so that was amazing. Who kind of specializes in axes, so she's kind of the opposite of Deke in a sense, where they're both heroes, but they have different specialties. Echidna's just cool. She's just like the definition of a boss girl, right? Is there really much more to explain? Because I don't think there is. See, now I really like Elfin, and I don't entirely know why. It's definitely the design for me. Can I put you up in Chads and Chadettes? I feel like I can. Yeah, I like Elfin. I really do. Yeah, I'll put you here. He's the definition of like 80s and 90s fantasy like elf character, right? The long blonde hair, the closed eyes, the harp, of course. Also, can I just say, the greatest dance animation in all of GBA Fire Emblem, and that is not up for debate. He has a little Twitter bird on his shoulder. It is amazing. That's all I can say. So yeah, it's a shame that we couldn't recruit Elfin and Echidna in the same route. That was the one thing that was very, very disappointing, I should say. But yeah, no, Elfin's such a cool design. I love it to bits. And the custom, like I said, the custom bard animation's amazing. What more is there to say? Yeah, he's just checks off all the vibes that I like going for me. So there you go. Bartray, of course, he is definitely he's definitely cooler than the himself in Blazing Blade, I think. I'm gonna put him in Solid Stuff, I think. Yeah, the tail end of Solid Stuff. I like his turquoise. I guess it's similar to Fear's turquoise, of course, right? He's got that metal headband, which is cool. He's kind of like the part of the resistance sort of thing. He's kind of just like Echidna in a sense, right? Where it's just like, yeah, let's just fight with the resistance to overthrow these guys and stuff. I like the ripped shirt that's turned into a singlet. Yeah, it's cool. He definitely got a glow up compared to his Blazing Blade days, because he was very dumb back then, but now, I mean, he's a little bit dumb, but he's not as dumb, you know, so there you have it. Alright, Ray, you know where he's going. Yeah. The three boys have to stick together, as they do on the map as well, so there you have it. I might adjust some stuff, like dropping Sue down or something, but we'll figure that out towards the end for the time being. I love his color palette. He's neon green, and he's purple, of course, when he's druid, and yeah, or his shaman palette, I should say, which promotes into druid, of course. But yeah, no, like I said, I've talked enough about these three boys, and yeah, they're the only reason why I could even play Binding Blade all the way to the end, so thank you so much, Chad, Lou, and Ray. Also, yeah, I just like how Ray is just such a little tsundere. He's just like, you know, I'm not doing this for the church, you know, like, I'm not doing this for the church, I swear, this is all just because I want to fight. It's like, no, we see through you, we see that you're just a gentle boy deep down, but yeah, it's nice. And again, like I said, the little meme of like, Lou, the cool Lou. Yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of funny. I dig that a lot. I fucking hate you. You know what? You needed your own, you need your own row, because god do I hate you. Okay, I don't even know what to, I'd crit you? Yeah, I think that's a good one. One sec. Yep, fucking hate Cath. If you want to go watch a little short of me getting annoyed at this little brat, then go right ahead. Or you can just watch I think it's, what, chapter 4 or 5 of Binding Blade? She's so annoying, you know, every time, especially because early on you don't have a ton of, like, beefy units either, especially with characters like early Chad, early Lou, and then she starts opening up the reinforcement doors and tries to steal everything, and it's like, god, every single time I've played this game, and I've tried playing this game like 3-4 times, every single time, without hesitation, I have killed this little, oh, I hate her so much. Clearly she is the character that I hate in, you know, all of GBA Fire Emblem. Maybe even all of Fire Emblem in general, I have no idea. I think I would prefer Eric, and I'm not talking about the mage Eric, I'm talking about Eric, the son of Darren. I think I would prefer Eric to join me than Cath down here, so yeah, god, I just hate your face is so punchable. Anyways, before I get search warrants out for child abuse or something, let's move on. Now, of course, we have Minerva Redux, of course, Milady, oh god, I hate her name so much, it's so dumb. But yeah, Milady, I guess. She's alright. I'll put her in okay. Yeah, she has a cool design. Again, I would take Minerva over Milady any day, but yeah, she's cool. Not much else to really add, to be honest. Yeah, she's just Wyvern Rider. Yep, cool, I guess. I could not recruit this man here, Percival, unfortunately, because I was playing a no reset run of a blind Fire Emblem game. I did not know I was meant to bring Lorem with me to talk to him, so we had to kill him off. I can already tell that I would just vibe with him. He's easily just solid stuff. In fact, if I actually ended up recruiting him, I would definitely see myself using him in the Chads, or like putting him in the Chads section and stuff. The design is goated. I love the purple. I love the blonde hair. He's a paladin, of course. I'm pretty sure he's rather broken as well, so even better. Such a cool design. I dig it to bits. We have what's her name again? What is her name? Shit. I actually don't remember her name now. It's what is that? It's not Katharina. What is it again? Should I look this? I probably should look this up, shouldn't I? Oh, is it Cecilia? Wait, I'm pretty sure it's Cecilia. Yeah, I think it is Cecilia, right? Yeah, it's Cecilia. I just remembered. Yeah, she's okay. I mean, I like her past history with Roy, of course. She's Roy's tutor or something. You could actually play, this is cool, you can play the little demo version, the little tutorial game, and she'll teach you how to play the game. So I thought that was a little cool, cute little addition. I'm gonna put her in the top of okay. Yeah, I guess I'll put her up here. I mean, very solid design. I like the green, I like the purple. Troubadour, or no, she appears as a Valkyrie, I think. I really do like how her hair color is like the pastel sort of green, right? That is a really nice touch. And her eyes are kind of slanted a bit down. You can tell that she's kind of kind just from her gestures and stuff. But that being said, I do think, yeah, she didn't leave too much of an impression on me personally. She's just kind of like gentle nobility, right? Air Calibur's kind of cool, but at the end of the day, I just stole that and gave it to Lou, so yeah, that's all I'll say. Sophia, I mean, yeah, I guess. A few issues with Sophia. I think this is a similar situation with Cecilia as well. I fucking hate Arcadia, which is chapter 14 of Fire Emblem the Binding Blade. One of my most disliked Fire Emblem maps of all time. Both Cecilia and Sophia appear on it. Not to mention, you have to protect Sophia. Not to mention, Sophia's stats are utter dog shit. And because of that, I mean, I almost feel like the Gaiden chapter is just not worth it because of how pathetically bad Sophia is. Yeah, I guess you have a cooler design than Lorem. I guess you can go there. I do like the pastel purple, I'll give you that, but God, you are pathetic. Alright, moving on. Igreen's cool. Igreen is so cool. Igreen is so cool. I feel like y'all need to be simping on Igreen more than you do simping on Echidna, because you lot are so thirsty over Echidna, but I don't see any Igreen love. I'm gonna put her... I might even put her... No, Geese is hotter. What am I talking about? I'll put her here then. I'll put her here. I mean, obviously this isn't a hot ranking or anything. Of course I wouldn't do anything that degenerate. But she's Hawkeye's daughter, which, immediately amazing. I like the sniper concept. The tan skin, blonde hair, red armor, just that whole color palette just vibes super well. And yeah, just Igreen's really cool. She has that support with Faye, of course, where she's kind of like the babysitter of Faye, which I think is really neat as well. Just overall, yeah, super solid design and super solid, again, bonus points for being a sniper, right? That's just kind of my thing. So I love mages, I love archers, that's just all you need to know about me. But yeah, no, we're putting Igreen up there for sure. I believe his name is Garrett. I was never able to recruit him because, Lena was dead. But... he's kind of cool. He's got those Fist of the North Star sort of vibes, like, I'm in this, barren wasteland trying to look for money or whatever. He's got that sort of look for him. I like his design. I'll give him that. So, a lot of the okay then slots are just characters I like the design of, even if I don't know too much about him. So I might just I'll put him above Gwendolyn, I think, yeah. In fact, I might actually drop Bartray down one, which, sorry Bartray fans, to all one Bartray fan that exists. Should I put Sue? I might put Sue down one as well. Yeah, that might be the way to go. Okay, cool. Faye, okay. So a lot of the time I really don't like these kind of dragon lollies, as I like to call them. Yeah, Fire Emblem has a bit of an obsession with them, unfortunately. Well, it's for a Japanese target audience, that's all I'm gonna say on that matter. And yeah, but that being said, I did think Faye, at least to me, at this point of the recording I have not finished Sacred Stones, but at this point of the recording, or what I'm up to, I think I'm up to chapter 15 of Sacred Stones or something, I think I prefer Faye over Milra personally. She's definitely more adventurous, or she's just kind of a little bit more fun to watch in terms of like how she interacts with the other characters. Also, she has a really cool transformation. Well, it's a bit goofy, the you know, ostrich dragon looking thing, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun. So I'll put Faye. This is a difficult one. This is actually really difficult, because I don't particularly love her by any means, but I think well, her color palette's really cool for one, but she's kind of fun. Oh yeah, I'll give it to her. She's kind of fun. I'll put her at the bottom of solid stuff. I think, yeah, okay. I think she deserves to go there. Humongous, of course. I immediately love his design. I wasn't able to recruit him because I was broke. But yeah, no, he's, you know, Kansas's son, or Canas, of course. It's a running joke. Don't worry about it if you don't get it. And yeah, no, I love his little eye patch thing. He's very Chunibyo, you know. He's very sort of, I don't know, edgy, edgelord sort of thing. Purple hair, black little, I don't know, bandana, headband thingy. Yeah, a hustler for money. I like him a lot. And I've never recruited him, and yet I really like him a lot. So that's saying a lot, isn't it? This is how you know that a character design resonates with you a ton. And so I'm not going to put him in Chads because, again, I haven't used him. I don't know his character. But God, do I love his design. I might even have to put you at the top of solid stuff. God, that design is good. So there you go. Humongous is a, yeah, very, very cool character. Similarly, I guess Zeus kind of stands in that, where I think he is the cooler design out of him and Milady. But at the same time, I don't entirely know too much, and I wouldn't say he's as cool of a design as Hugh there, so I'm going to put him at the top of okay then. Another Wyvern Rider, very solid stuff. I'm sure that their sibling episode, you know, their sibling storyline is really interesting, but at least from what I understand. But with the lack of knowledge that I have, yeah, that's the highest I can probably put him. I mean, I could put him one rank high. I could put him at the bottom of solid stuff, then let's do that. Let's be generous. In fact, I might actually drop Zealot down just to make the Chads and Chadettes just one line. I think that's a little bit more exclusive, you know. There you have it. Anyways, okay. Is it Douglas? I could never recruit him because that's one of the most difficult characters to recruit in any Fire Emblem game that I've played so far. You have to keep him alive, but you also have to defeat all the other enemies. It is insanity, pure insanity. In fact, doesn't that definition-wise leave him in take the hit for me? I mean, he ends up taking the hit because he will end up attacking you and dying from counterattack. I mean, yeah, he's just a dude with a beard. I mean, not much I can really say, right? I mean, yeah, bottom of okay then, I guess. There's cooler older guys, you know, like Wallace is a thing, you know, from Blazing Blade. You know, like Marcus as well, right, in this game. But yeah, anyways. Nime is kind of cool. You don't see old women joining your Fire Emblem party every, you know, it's not a thing that happens every day. It's not a thing that happens every game, in fact. But, you know, yeah, no, I really dig her whole characterization. I believe she's Canis's mom, I think. But yeah, no, she's really cool. Yeah, not much else to say. I'm gonna put her in solid stuff. I'm gonna put her at the bottom of solid stuff. Yeah, I think that's cool. Of course, we have, I think, is that Darren? No, it's something like that. It's like Darren or something. 1 second. Oh, it's Dayan, or Dayan, I guess. Yeah, okay. Again, he's the legendary Silver Fang, I believe. Silver Fang, is that right? Silver Wolf, something like that. Again, like I said, in my playthrough, he does very much give me, like, Kakashi's dad vibes. Hatake Sakumo, of course, where it's like he's this feared name in the land, and he's just like a legend, you know? He's very strong when he first appears, yeah, I mean, he definitely does look like the elder of the Cicaeans, right? And I think that's kind of cool. I guess I'll put you at the end of solid stuff. I think your design's pretty good, but nothing too special. But yeah, he's the legendary Silver Fang or whatever, so that's cool. Don't even know your name, don't care. Master Yoda, of course. I guess he has the Force. I mean, look, similar to the whole Athos situation, right? When there's an old guy that has incredibly powerful sage arts and stuff, I just kind of get hyped. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of get hyped. I'm gonna put you in solid stuff because you are solid stuff. In fact, I'm gonna put you in the little elder zone here, because that's where you belong. That is where you belong. You have some insane items that you come, when you first recruit him. I don't entirely remember what he has, but I remember it being very good. So there you have it. And finally, the Goat Corral. I haven't even played the secret maps or whatever, but I can tell you that I fucking love Corral, so I'm gonna put you higher than Geese up here. We can move Elfin down one, I think. I think that's fair enough. So there you have it. That is my tier list of Fire Emblem The Binding Blade characters. There you have it. Very interesting stuff. I mean, I guess I'll comment on a few things. First of all, I really do like Zephyr and Murdoch. They're definitely in at least solid stuff. And also Gale is definitely a Chad in my eyes. He's one of my favorite anti-heroes, I guess, or antagonist characters. I also weirdly like Narshan, even though he's a narcissistic piece of shit, but I don't know, I just kind of, yeah, he's like he's a vile man. It's similar to Volta in Sacred Stones, where you just kind of like him. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, no, he is definitely in, I would say, solid stuff as well. So there you have it. That is my list for Fire Emblem The Binding Blade. Let me know what you think down below of my list, but also let me know who your favorite characters are. Let's have a little bit of a discussion. I love discussing these sorts of things with you guys down below. So hopefully we can keep it nice and civil. If there's any fans of Cath, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to apologize to you. Absolutely not. If there is any fans of, I guess, Lance, though, I guess I'll apologize. Anywho, that's been it. I will see you all next time. Of course, keep in mind that, you guys can go back if you haven't seen the Binding Blade stuff. Jump back into it if you'd like, or you could wait for my Sacred Stones tier list, which is probably getting, I'm guessing it'll be up. I think we're about to finish Sacred Stones by the time this video is up, so yeah, you can go and keep your eyes out for that one as well. Anyways, I will see you guys next time with whatever I do. Hope to see you all there. Bye bye.